Let's go to our 2024 NFL Draft standings right now. Here's the updated order following today's early slate, afternoon slate of games. Well. Look at it. The Arizona Cardinals now sandwiched in between the Chicago Bears, 1 and 3. Of course, the Bears owning Carolina Bo's first overall pick. The Broncos beat the Packers. The Patriots beat the Bills. The Giants beat the Commanders. It was upset special today. For everybody not named the Arizona Cardinals, Dan Brugler, who is a draft savant, tripled down on it this weekend, saying the first 3 picks will be some combination. Caleb Williams, Drake Maye, Marvin Harrison Jr. And right now, after 7 weeks of play, Cardinals are in that derby for better or worse.
Well, yeah, but the Bears can't pick 2 quarterbacks, right? And the Broncos on the outside looking in, they might have to give up some draft capital to get up there if they want to move on from Russ. And the Giants are going to have to move on, and the Patriots, those are teams that are just on the outside looking in, that are in striking distance of some very good prospects, that if you figure out the quarterback position, primarily staying in-house and moving forward with Kyler Murray, it makes the Arizona Cardinals, like Monty Osfort, can just, he could get an absolute just haul for the second overall pick.
And you have to.
Yeah.
There's nobody else in that draft that I'm going, I don't care.
You don't think you can get on the phone with the Broncos,
the best available.
The Giants, the Patriots?
I would. If you're asking me what I would do, I would do that and get a haul and take Marvin Harrison Jr. or you can't, hypothetically, in that scenario, you got to take Joe Alt, which is a good, compensatory plan. But I don't think that if you're finishing the season and Kyler Murray, let's just hypothetically say those are it. That's the final standing. Fast forward now, and we get 8-9 games of Kyler Murray. They're gonna have discussions about a certain quarterback from Chapel Hill. They're going to have discussions about Drake Maye. I feel like, number one, you listen to every scout, Drake Maye has closed the gap to some degree on Caleb Williams, so much so that there are teams that have Drake Maye number 1 in their quarterback ranking entering the 2024 offseason. I would not do that.
Yeah.
But I think, I'm not going to sit here and say they're going to absolutely trade the pick if they have number 2. No one can say that right now.
If you have number 2, the best available on that thing, if you're not going to go for a quarterback, is Marvin Harrison Jr. And I think that's one of those receiver-type guys that you cannot say, I want to trade this away because I want to grab. So I think that's one that you got to bring in.
But you can't have a situation in which you have Marvin and a quarterback that the franchise doesn't believe in. They have to believe in Kyler Murray.
I agree. That's got to be the point where you have to have trust that Kyler's going to be your guy. But that's just one of those guys.
We got to color this up a little bit. We got to add context to it, right? Because if you're sitting there and you're second overall, that likely means you're getting not much better performance.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I know. Well, then that's a slam dunk.
Then you're taking Drake Maye.
Yeah, if you're getting Dobbs-esque performances from Kyler Murray and he's got a $230.5 million contract that's about to kick in, that's an easy answer. But I legitimately don't think that's going to happen.
But what if you see, now this is just hypothetical.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kyler plays great ball, but they still suck. They still don't win.
That's why I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? So Kyler could go out here and throw for 300 and something, and then we give up. Special teams makes his mistake.
That's
why
I'm saying context matters here. There's going, and finishing with the second overall pick and seeing the final record, but then seeing how you got there. And if you got there and it's Kyler Murray going out there and putting up big numbers, in that would certainly eclipse the numbers you've seen from Joshua Dobbs, and you see a huge upgrade at the quarterback position, but the team falls short because, don't get me wrong, there's still a huge talent disparity here between the Cardinals and the rest of their schedule. As somebody just pointed out, second hardest schedule in the rest of going down the stretch here. It very well could happen, right? But if you learn enough about Kyler Murray, then yes, then we're talking about, hey, are you trading out or are you taking Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Last year, for some context, the first 5 teams, 6 teams, 7 teams, frankly, maybe 8 teams in the 2023 NFL Draft suffered from poor quarterback play. Carolina moved on from whatever the hell they were doing at quarterback. They took Bryce Young. Houston at 2 after their trade down with Chicago, right? They got a new quarterback. The Cardinals at pick 3, they didn't have Kyler Murray. They had Colt McCoy and a bunch of scrub players, frankly. Indianapolis was starting Nick Foles at the end of the year. Typically, the teams that are drafting within the first 3 to 5 picks plus have horrific quarterback play for long stretches of the season. So again, it goes to the point of, if Kyler Murray comes back, if let's say hypothetically he comes back which is what I believe is going to happen against the Atlanta Falcons. He comes back in 2 weeks and plays at State Farm Stadium, and you get 8 games from Kyler Murray, and Kyler Murray goes 2-6 in those games, and you end up with 3 wins, which is likely enough to secure you a top 3 pick. I mean, they're going to have conversations. With teams like Chicago on your schedule, Houston notwithstanding, Atlanta, of course, Pittsburgh with Kenny Pickett, baby hands. They're going to have some hurdles to overcome. I don't know if there is a scenario in which Kyler Murray plays well and they still don't win. I think that if Kyler Murray's doing 2-to-1 touchdown interceptions ratio, you ought to be able to win
for sure
3 to 5 games when he comes back.
Yeah. I mean, if Kyler Murray plays well, they're not going to lose out.
Right.
They'll put him in opportunities to win games, which they still have to finish the win games. But,
Do you think they hypothetically say, how many games would we have in the bag if Kyler was our quarterback now? Can they contextualize that? Because next year you're going to be under certain circumstances where you're going to have another 4th-place schedule. If Kyler was here, we would have beaten the Giants and the Commanders and the Seahawks. Are they allowed to do that, or is everything a clean? Okay,
he just has to show it, and I don't think that's asking too much, and I don't think he wants to show it.
Yeah,
Kyler Murray's coming back with a huge chip on his shoulder. He's chomping the bit. I'm sure he wanted to play this week. I'm sure he's going to do everything within his power to get out there a week from today against Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Now, Jonathan Gannon said he told him he was practicing. I'll take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
I don't think he has that much power as far as when he's going to play, because I think he would have been designated return a lot earlier, and he would have started this process a lot earlier as well. But he's coming back with a huge chip on his shoulder, and he's going to want to come out here and ball out and make it, no questions asked. No questions asked. And in this organization, the way that, he's wanting to play, and the way that Hollywood Brown says that he's not, he said himself, he's not coming back to be average.
Right.
And if you see above average quarterback play, I think that gives enough confidence to this organization. Hey, our quarterback position is not a question. Let's move forward. Let's use this draft capital we have. Let's use all the assets, maybe create more assets, and expedite this rebuild.